Amanda stood at the edge of the red-earthed path, staring at the corrugated roofed houses of her rural hometown. She was 24, unmarried, and already carrying the burden of her family's expectations. Her mother was aging, her younger siblings needed school fees. She told herself she would find a way. Then there was Joseph. Joseph had returned from the city 6 months ago, smooth-talking, well-dressed, promising he had big plans. He convinced her that if they worked together, if she agreed to bear a child through surrogacy for a wealthy couple in the city, they would split the money and finally be free.
"Amanda, you know I love you,"
he said one evening by the roadside. "We'll get married."
"This is just one sacrifice, and then we'll be rich forever."
She looked at him, unsure. But she wanted security. She wanted love. She wanted to be wanted. So she agreed. They left the village at dawn for city. They arrived in Enugu. Amanda had never seen so many lights, cars, or high-rise buildings before. The city hummed with generators, horns, and voices calling from roadside stalls. She felt dizzy from the motion, the smells of fried akara, exhaust, and sweat mingling in the humid night. Joseph held her hand tightly.
"This is where our future begins,"
he told her, grinning. But he wouldn't tell her exactly where they were going. They took a kiki, tricycle, to a small, run-down flat in a crowded part of town. It was noisy, with music blasting from nearby beer parlors and children running barefoot through the dusty courtyard. Inside, Amanda sat on the thin mattress, clutching her bag. Joseph told Amanda about the business deal. She will carry a baby for a couple. The couple will pay them randomly. "Tomorrow we meet the couple," Joseph said. Amanda nodded. The next day, they met the couple in an air-conditioned restaurant downtown. Amanda had never felt so out of place. Marble floors, glass walls, people in business suits. She kept her eyes on the table. The couple was older. The man wore designer sunglasses indoors. The woman was silent, her face tight with anxiety.
"We'll pay 10 million naira,
the man said. "You carry the child."
"No questions."
Amanda looked at Joseph. He squeezed her hand under the table.
"Say yes,"
he whispered. "Think of your siblings. Think of our happiness." Her heart pounded in her chest. She felt like she was selling herself. But her family needed money. She nodded. "Okay," she said softly. The deal was sealed. Amanda didn't sleep the night before. Joseph lay beside her, snoring softly. She stared at the cracked ceiling of their rented room. The next morning, they went to a private fertility clinic with the couple. They explained everything like a business transaction: injection protocols, embryo transfer, and signatures. Amanda lay on the examination table, tears leaking from the corners of her eyes as they began the procedure. The weeks after Amanda undergoes the pregnancy procedure, she stayed in the small flat unsettled, alone most days. Joseph will go for hours at a time without considering Amanda's well-being. Amanda, who is foolishly in love, will not complain, but rather, "She's dying in emotional pretense," Joseph said to Amanda. "I'm finalizing the money. Just rest." She trusted him. But something felt wrong. One day, she woke up and he was gone completely. His clothes are missing. His phone switched off. She went to the clinic to ask questions.
"He already collected the payment,"
the nurse told her flatly.
"We wired the balance last week."
Amanda staggered outside. 10 million naira, gone. She pressed her palm to her stomach. "I did this for him. He betrayed her, left her with a child that wasn't even hers to keep." The couple demanded answers. The lawyer called her, threatened her. Amanda packed what little she had and ran into the noisy streets of Enugu, heavy with pregnancy and panic. Amanda found shelter in a cramped room behind a mechanic's shop. The owner, a kind older woman named Mama Nena, let her stay for almost nothing. She sold roasted plantain by the roadside to scrape by. Amanda swept the yard, fetched water, and helped with chores. But the pregnancy advanced, and it was hard to hide. Word spread. Neighbors gossiped. "She's carrying someone else's child." "They paid her and she ran." Meanwhile, the wealthy couple sent flyers with her picture and also men to look for her. They wanted the baby. They wanted what they paid for. One evening, Amanda saw a car parked across the street. A man watched her with cold eyes. Seeing the man, Amanda thought her life might be in danger. "I have to leave," she said to herself. She packed her few clothes into a bag and waited for nightfall. Amanda waited until the street was quiet. She slipped out the back and walked all night to the motor park. She had just enough for a cheap bus to her village. Deep down in her mind, she was thinking they would catch her up in the bus. She was restless and scared. All the way she held her belly. Her baby kicked inside her, reminding her of what she was carrying, a life she hadn't meant to keep, but now fiercely protected. When she arrived, dawn was breaking. The village was waking up. Chickens scratched the dirt. Smoke rose from cooking fires, but the whispers began immediately.
"Amanda is back."
"Isn't she the one who ran to the city for money?" Look at her belly. She ignored them. She walked straight to her mother's house, tears streaming down her face. Her mother opened the door, surprised, as she pulled her into her arms with a warm hug. Amanda's mother sent her to her relative. Village far from their own village, same night. There she will give birth to her baby. Her due date is close. In her aunt's village, they had no clinic, no doctor.
"It's just an aging midwife from the next compound."
Labor begins after some days, and the labor is long and hard. Amanda screamed until her voice cracked. Her mother wiped her brow and prayed for her. The baby was born at dawn, slick and wailing. A boy. Amanda looked at him and began to sob. "You're not mine, but I'm all you have." In her village, neighbors gathered spread gossip. They'd curse her. But Amanda and her mother didn't care anymore. She cradled her son and rocked him gently, promising to protect him even if it cost her everything. Amanda spent weeks recovering after the birth. The child was healthy but small, always crying for milk she struggled to provide. Her mother sold vegetables at the market, but money was never enough. Amanda tried everything. She washed clothes for neighbors. She fetched water. She sold palm oil in tiny reused bottles by the roadside, but the gossip never stopped. She went to the city and came back with another man's child. She sold her womb for money and still came back poor. She keeps blaming herself. Amanda would bite her lip until it bled, fighting the tears. At night, she'd hold her baby boy close, rocking him while hot tears fell onto his sleeping face. "I thought I was saving us, but I brought ruin instead." 4 years had passed. Amanda's son was now running barefoot through the dust outside their hut, giggling with the other village children. She sold smoked fish in the market, carrying trays on her head in the hot sun. Her mother had aged terribly and no longer hustled for food like she used to. Their thatched roof leaked in the rain. Amanda's arms were scarred from carrying firewood. Her eyes were hollow from worry.
But she survived.
One Harmattan afternoon, Josepha returned. He looked older, leaner. His fine clothes were gone. His eyes were dim.
"Amanda,"
he said, falling to his knees.
"forgive me.
I was duped. They stole everything."
I have nothing."
Amanda felt her heart twist. He had abandoned her, left her pregnant, stolen the surrogacy money. And yet, she still loved him. He cried, clutching her skirt. "I have nowhere to go. I can't eat."
"I can't sleep."
Amanda touched his shoulder gently.
"You can stay."
"We'll find a way, even if I have to sacrifice again." They sat outside Amanda's mother's house in the cool of the evening. "Amanda, you don't know what I went through," said Joseph. She leaned forward, eyes wide with worry. "Tell me, what happened?" He lowered his gaze. "I was kidnapped." "The men who paid us, they arranged it. They took the 10 million from me.
They beat me.
Starved me. I've been in a bush camp for 4 years. I escaped last month." Amanda gasped, covering her mouth with her hand. Tears filled her eyes. "Joseph!" "Oh God, my God!" He reached for her hands, clasping them. "I never meant to abandon you. I never spent that money. I swear." Her heart broke all over again. She was naive. She has never heard of fake kidnapping tales. She didn't know how to question him. She only knew she loved him. She pulled him close, burying her face in his shirt. "You're home now," she whispered.
We'll start over.
A week after Joseph returned, he sat with Amanda under the mango tree by her mother's hut.
Amanda.
He whispered, taking her hand. We can't live like this forever. Look at us, poor, mocked by the village. She lowered her eyes. But my son, Joseph squeezed her fingers. He'll be safe here with Mama. You know she loves him. But you and I? We can start over. I have friends in the city.
We can find work.
Make money. Build a real life. She remembered every sacrifice, every humiliation. But Joseph's words filled her with hope. He loves me. He's trying. That night she cried as she packed her small bundle of clothes. Her mother argued with her. Amanda, don't do this. You're abandoning your child. Don't trust that man again! But Amanda was deaf to all reason. At dawn, Joseph led her to the dusty road where a rickety bus waited. She kissed her sleeping son on the forehead one last time. Mama, take care of him. I'll send money.
I promise.
Her mother only turned away, tears in her old eyes. As the bus rattled away toward Enugu, Amanda kept her face pressed to the window, watching the village disappear behind her. The city was crueler than Amanda remembered. The room Joseph rented was damp, with cracked walls. They could barely afford 1 meal a day. Amanda complained only once. Joseph, our son is hungry at home. We promised to send money.
He snapped.
Shut up. Do you think I don't know? That's why we need money. One night, he came home drunk, eyes gleaming. Amanda, there's a way. She swallowed nervously. What way? He leaned close, stinking of palm wine. A powerful native doctor. He says he can make me rich. I need you. He needs a sacrifice. Her eyes went wide. Me?
Not to kill you.
He soothed quickly. Just spiritual ritual.
You'll help me.
You love me, right? Amanda trembled. She loved him. She always had. And she was pregnant. But she hadn't told him yet. Joseph led her along a narrow bush path in the dead of night. The hut at the end smelled of blood and herbs. Candles flickered. A goat bleated in terror in the corner. The native doctor wore a red cap and white chalk markings. He chanted in Igbo.
You want wealth,
he said to Joseph. She must give herself willingly, body and spirit. Amanda shivered. She must lie on the altar, offer her womb.
Speak the words.
Joseph squeezed her hand. Please, for us. She climbed onto the cold, damp altar, her swollen belly barely visible in the shadows. She spoke the words the native doctor told her. She felt her skin burn. Her ears roared. She cried out in pain. The candles went out all at once. Months went by after that night at the native doctor's shrine. Amanda and Joseph moved into a tiny, crumbling room in the city. The money never came. Joseph grew restless, angry, blaming her. Amanda woke every day shivering, her belly aching. She couldn't keep food down. Her feet swelled. Her eyes went dull.
Joseph.
I'm sick, she told Joseph one night. Take me to the clinic. He rolled over and ignored her.
Don't disturb me.
Amanda lay awake, pressing trembling hands to her stomach where the baby kicked so weakly now. One morning she tried to fetch water. Her vision blurred. She fell. Hard. A terrible crack echoed in the cement courtyard. Neighbors rushed over. Blood pooled beneath her. Joseph stood in the doorway, expression blank.
She's always causing problems,
he muttered. Neighbors carried Amanda in an old taxi to the government hospital. The doctor shook his head the moment he saw her. Why did you wait so long? They worked frantically, but it was too late. The baby was gone. Her womb was torn. They had to remove it to save what was left of her life. When she woke hours later, her mouth was dry. A nurse told her gently, I'm sorry, you'll never have children again. Amanda turned her face to the wall and closed her eyes. Joseph never came to see her. Weeks went by. Amanda sat on the hospital bed, staring at the wall. Her belly was flat now. Her womb was gone. Her spirit felt empty. Joseph stopped visiting, but she heard about him. He was suddenly everywhere in the city, laughing, drinking, wearing new clothes. Big man, people called him.
Otoku.
He smiled for photos in bars, flashing new phones, handing out wads of naira to girls who sat on his lap. Amanda heard the rumors. The nurses whispered when they thought she was asleep. That man's woman is here dying and he's in clubs. I heard he's doing rituals.
Money just they rush him.
Amanda blinked slowly. She remembered the night in the shrine. The candles. The native doctor's voice. The words she spoke in terror.
She must offer her womb.
It hadn't been a lie. The ritual had worked. Joseph had his wealth. She had paid for it with her child. Her body, her soul. She lay in bed, hot tears sliding into her ears. I did this for love. But he never loved me. She gripped the sheet until her knuckles went white. I gave him everything. Now I have nothing. Outside the hospital window, the city roared with traffic and life. Inside, Amanda felt like she was already dead. Amanda lay in the hospital bed, numb. The nurses no longer fussed over her. They just left food on the side table and left her alone. Days passed. No visitors.
Until the door opened one morning.
Joseph strolled in, wearing a new shirt. Expensive looking. A cheap gold chain glinted on his neck, smelling nice. Amanda blinked, too weak to sit up.
Joseph.
Her voice trembling. He sighed loudly.
Get up, let's go.
She swallowed hard. Go? Where? Home. I can't even stand.
Nurse!
He barked. Help her pack. Discharge her. We're leaving. 2 nurses helped her sit up, tears sliding silently down her cheeks. She tried to protest.
Joseph.
I'm not ready. Please. I'm sick. He frowned. Stop embarrassing me. Do you want to stay here forever? He paid the bill with pride. She's coming with me now. Outside the hospital gate, he had a taxi waiting. Amanda collapsed onto the back seat, clutching the small plastic bag of medicine the nurse handed her. Joseph didn't help her in. He just looked out the window as they drove away. She turned her head slowly to look at the city streets passing by, tears running freely. I have nowhere else to go.
He's all I have.
After weeks in the city, Amanda was a shadow of herself, thin, weak, quiet. But Joseph was making money now. Lots of it. One evening, he came back to their small room with plastic bags full of food and new clothes.
Amanda,
he said gruffly. Get dressed. We're going out. She blinked at him, confused. Out? You'll see. The proposal. He took her to a small restaurant. It wasn't fancy, but it was the nicest place she'd been in months. Joseph sat across from her, his face serious. Amanda, I've wronged you.
I know.
She lowered her eyes. I've done things I can't undo, but I want to make it right. Her heart skipped. What do you mean? He pulled out a simple silver ring.
Marry me.
Let me make you my wife. Amanda covered her mouth with shaking hands. Tears welled up. He still wants me. She nodded slowly.
Yes, Joseph.
Weeks later, they went to the registry. She signed with trembling fingers. Then they traveled to the village for the traditional marriage. Joseph paid the bride price. Her mother watched with sad, resigned eyes. The elders blessed them. Amanda wore a simple Ankara wrapper, her hair tied back. She smiled in the photos, though her eyes were still haunted. Joseph stood proudly beside her, telling himself, I've paid her back. She's my wife now. But deep inside, Amanda felt a cold emptiness she couldn't explain. After the wedding, Amanda moved with Joseph into a cozy home in the city. She told herself, I'm lucky he wants me. Who else would marry me now? At least he knows everything. Joseph told himself,
At least I did the honorable thing.
I put a ring on it. Now she's my slave forever. But he still went out late. He still flirted. He still drank. At night, Amanda lay awake. She spoke to her husband about bringing her son from the village. Joseph snapped, We can't feed another mouth now. She didn't argue again. She felt ashamed, but told herself, It's better to be a wife than be alone. Who would want a barren woman? At least my mother can say I'm married. But sometimes, late at night, she admitted the truth. I am not happy.
I am not safe.
I am not loved. Joseph woke one morning to messages on his new phone. Deals, offers, bank alerts. People he used to beg now called him Oga. He bought a second-hand car, then a newer one. He moved them to a better flat with tiled floors, bright curtains, and a generator. Amanda cleaned it quietly every day. He wore designer shoes, imported perfumes, big gold wristwatch. He strutted through the neighborhood, greeting people with careless nods. At night, he hosted loud parties with music blasting through the walls. Men laughed with him over bottles of whiskey. Women in tight dresses flirted shamelessly. Joseph laughed too, drunk on power, money, and attention. Amanda watched silently from the bedroom door. She saw the piles of naira on the table, the new fridge humming in the corner, the TV shows channels she didn't even understand. We have everything, but I have nothing. She touched her empty belly and felt like crying. One day, he stumbled in late, smelling of alcohol and perfume. Amanda helped him remove his shoes. "Joseph," she whispered timidly. "Please, I want us to be happy." He laughed bitterly. "Happy? Look at this house. Look at the money. Who else has this? You should be thanking me." He slapped wads of cash onto the floor. "Take, buy what you want, but don't talk rubbish about happiness." Amanda gathered the notes with shaking fingers, hot tears splashing on them. The money came easily.
Too easily.
Just as the native doctor promised, Amanda realized her womb was the price. Her happiness was the sacrifice. Joseph couldn't even see it. The apartment changed after Joseph got rich. He painted the walls, bought plush chairs, installed bright fluorescent lights that made everything harsh and exposed. Amanda cleaned it carefully every day. She polished the tiles on her knees, sweat streaking her thin wrapper. But it didn't matter. Joseph stayed out late. He said he was doing business, but Amanda knew better. He stumbled in at 2 a.m., reeking of beer and cheap perfume. Sometimes he didn't even bother explaining. Other times he sneered at her. "What, you're not my mother. Go and sleep." One night, he arrived with 2 women. Their laughter echoed in the corridor before he even opened the door. They wore short, tight dresses and high heels that clicked on the floor. Amanda stood frozen, clutching her cleaning rag. Joseph barely glanced at her. "Ah, this one," he told them with a smirk. "Don't mind her. She's just my maid." Women laughed. Amanda felt her face burn. "Maid?" Amanda's eyes hardened.
I won't. I'm not going to suffer anymore.
She wiped her tears and whispered in a shaking voice, "I have a plan. I want to destroy him. I want to take back everything." The nurse's eyes widened. "Amanda, what are you thinking?" "Help me," Amanda said firmly. "Please. You know things. You know people. I can't do this alone." The nurse paused. Then she nodded. "All right, we'll do it together." Amanda and the nurse sat in that small office for hours. The nurse held her hand the whole time, listening patiently. Amanda spoke in a low, shaking voice. "He destroyed me. He sold me to rituals. He took my womb. He let them steal my son. He humiliated me, called me his maid, brought women to our matrimonial bed." Her tears fell hot on their joined hands. The nurse squeezed tighter. "Amanda, you can't go back to him." "I know," Amanda whispered. "I will never go back. But I'm not finished. I want to ruin him." The nurse leaned forward, thinking carefully. "We can go to the press."
We can tell your story.
Amanda shook her head.
I want him to pay for all the pains he has caused me.
The nurse nodded slowly. "Okay, we'll gather evidence. We'll get witnesses. I know a journalist who loves scandal."
He'll publish everything.
Amanda's eyes narrowed with grim satisfaction.
Let's do it.
But then her face crumpled. "And my son, he's with them now."
The rich couple.
"He doesn't even know me." The nurse stroked her hair gently.
We'll find him.
"We'll hire someone to track them. I'll help you pay. We'll fight for him in court if we have to." Amanda nodded fiercely. "I will get my baby back, even if he doesn't remember me." She wiped her eyes and glared at the floor. "I want him to lose everything." The nurse's eyes gleamed. "I know people who can help with that. Financial Crimes Unit. Let's see if all that money is clean." Amanda snorted bitterly.
It's not. It's blood money.
But when the fury ebbed, Amanda slumped. "What am I without anger? I'm so tired." The nurse hugged her. "You're Amanda. That's enough."
You don't have to be strong alone.
Amanda let herself cry freely, truly. for the first time. Will you help me? Always. That night, she stayed in the nurse's spare room. She lay on the thin mattress, looking at the cracked ceiling, her fists clenched. I will get my son.
I will destroy Joseph.
I will take back my dignity. And for the first time in years, she let herself hope. It took Amanda years. Years of hustling and crying in the dark. She was burning with anger while she worked until her hands bled. The nurse was with her every step. They started a small pharmacy shop together, expanded into a clinic. Amanda learned to read, learned to sign her own contracts, learned to smile in front of cameras. She wore clean Ankara and lace, gold jewelry, her own car. She was Amanda, no longer the maid, the beggar, the broken woman. She's classy, clever, and had her own money. But she never forgot what Josepha put her through. He forgot me. He forgot our child. He forgot the price I paid. One day, she told the nurse, I'm going back. The nurse's eyes went wide.
Amanda, are you sure?
Yes, I'm still his wife by law. He can't refuse me.
I'll get inside his life again.
What will you do? Amanda smiled thinly and said,
Watch out.
She went to his mansion in her new car. The gateman bowed. Joseph nearly dropped his drink when she walked in. She was glowing. She was beautiful.
Now, Rich. Amanda, you...
You're here? She smiled sweetly. I came to see my husband. You still want me? He stammered, eyes shining with greed. She touched his arm.
I forgive you, Joseph.
Let's start again. He didn't see the ice in her eyes. He didn't see the trap snapping shut. Amanda sat on Joseph's expensive leather sofa. She sipped imported wine carefully, smiling politely at his jokes. She praised the room's decoration, admired the chandelier. Let him talk about his success.
Amanda,
he said. Look at you now, you see? We're both big people. We're meant for each other. She laughed softly. Of course, Joseph. Maybe you're right. Inside, her heart was cold as stone. After a while, she set down her glass.
Joseph!
May I use your restroom?
No wahala. Second door on the left.
He watched her hips sway as she left, smirking. Amanda closed the door behind her quietly. But she didn't go to the toilet. She opened her small gold handbag, took out a slim, clear packet of white powder, cocaine and a gun, bought from a crooked contact in town. She breathed slowly.
This is it.
She tiptoed into the guest room next to the bathroom. She pushed the cocaine and the gun under the bed, behind a stack of old suitcases, deep enough to be hidden, but not so deep it won't be found.
He'll never know.
But one phone call?
And the police will. They'll raid his mansion.
Find drugs in the gun. No matter how much money he has, they'll lock him away. She smiled bitterly. Blood money bought this house. Let blood money ruin it. Amanda washed her hands carefully in the sink. She returned to the living room. Joseph stood to greet her, drink in hand. My beautiful wife, he said. Now, tell me, shall we start over? She smiled radiantly.
Yes, Joseph.
Let's start over. Inside, she was already planning her next move. Amanda left Joseph's mansion in the cool evening air. The compound gate closed behind her with a heavy clang. She walked calmly to her car. She got in, shut the door, and locked it. Her eyes hardened in the rearview mirror.
It's time.
She pulled out her sleek new phone, found the contact her nurse friend had given her. A senior officer, someone who didn't like Joseph's arrogant face on the society pages. She dialed. A calm male voice answered.
Yes.
Amanda breathed slowly. Good evening, sir.
I have information you'll want. Talk. There's cocaine in Joseph's house.
He hides it in the guest room. Under the bed. Behind the old suitcases. Silence.
Who is this?
A concerned citizen. She rattled off the address.
The gate color. The security schedule.
How often did Joseph go out late? How he bragged that no one could touch him. He thinks he's above the law. She finished coldly. The officer cleared his throat.
We'll handle it.
She ended the call. She sat in the car a moment longer, breathing. It's done. For the first time in years, she felt light.
You stole my womb.
You sold my child. You laughed in my face.
Now watch me destroy you.
She started the car and drove away into the city night. Amanda sat at her small office desk in the nurse's clinic. She sipped tea calmly, watching the afternoon rain streak the windows. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number, she answered quietly.
Yes.
A male voice, firm and official. Madam, this is Inspector Udo. I thought you'd want to know.
We moved in this morning.
Amanda closed her eyes. And? We found it exactly where you said. Enough to bury him for 20 years.
He's in custody.
Amanda let out a long, shaking breath. Thank you. She ended the call without another word. Joseph's mansion gates had been kicked in at dawn. Armed police flooded the compound. He screamed as they dragged him out in shorts and slippers. His guards fled. His neighbors filmed everything. They found the cocaine in the guest room. They found weapons. They found fraudulent bank records. The newspapers went wild. Businessman arrested for drug trafficking.
Blood money empire collapses.
Amanda read every headline. She even watched the grainy video of him, begging on the ground, hands cuffed. She didn't smile. She just felt relieved. Months later, Amanda stood before a judge herself.
Not to be sentenced,
but to adopt 2 children abandoned in the door to an orphanage home, a boy and a girl. She knelt to their height, took their small hands in hers. Would you like to come home with me? They nodded shyly. Yes, Auntie. She fought tears as she signed the papers. Her family, her second chance. That night, she tucked them in gently. She whispered prayers over them. No one will take you.
No one will hurt you. I will never let you suffer like I did.
Outside, the city moved on. But in Amanda's small rented flat, warmth finally returned. Amanda traveled down to the village to get her mother and siblings. First, her mother stepped out. Amanda ran forward. Mama! Her mother hugged her dearly. They clung to each other, weeping in relief. Her teenage brother and sister tumbled off next, laughing with excitement. Auntie Amanda! She ruffled their hair, laughing through tears. They'd grown so much. Her mother's burden for school fees was over. No more hunger. Amanda led them to her car. We're going home, she said proudly. They drove through the city. At last, they pulled up in front of her compound. Her mother covered her mouth in awe.
Amanda, this is your house.
She nodded. No, Mama, it's our house now. Her mother sat heavily, wiping tears from her cheeks. I thought I'd lost you. Look at you now. Look at us. Amanda knelt before her. You didn't lose me. I just took the long way home. That night, she watched her siblings fighting over the TV remote. Her mother singing quietly while folding clothes. Her adopted children sat with them, giggling. One big family, safe, fed, together. She closed her eyes and let out a long, peaceful breath. Amanda went to the university to study nursing. Years later, Amanda graduated. She stood on the stage in a beautiful white uniform. Her children clapped in the audience. Her mother wept tears of joy. Her siblings beamed with pride. The head nurse pinned her badge onto her chest.
Amanda, RN, RM.
Registered nurse and registered midwife. With her savings, small loans, and the nurse friend's support, she opened her own clinic. Freshly painted walls, clean beds, a waiting room full of mothers and babies. She refused to turn anyone away, even the poorest. She delivered babies with gentle hands. She taught girls about their bodies and their rights. She counseled battered women. Don't stay because you're afraid. There is life after pain. One evening, she locked up the clinic, holding the keys tight in her hand. She looked at the signboard. Amanda's maternity and clinic. She smiled.
They stole my womb.
But they didn't steal my heart. They stole my past. But they didn't kill my future. She turned, her head high, and walked home to her waiting family. 20 years had passed. One dusty afternoon, as patients trickled out, a young man walked in. Tall, broad-shouldered, serious eyes that looked too familiar. Amanda blinked, her hand going to her chest. No, it can't be. He cleared his throat. Excuse me, are you Amanda? Her voice cracked.
Yes.
He swallowed hard. I think you're my mother. They sat in her tiny office. The young man showed her a folder. DNA tests.
Medical records.
The wealthy couple's papers. They had used her egg all those years ago. The wife had lied about the arrangement. Amanda hadn't just carried a baby. She'd given birth to her own son. Her head spun. She pressed, shaking her fingers to her lips. You're my blood? He nodded, tears in his eyes. They told me last year. I had to find you! Amanda broke. She let out a raw, keening cry and threw her arms around him. He held her tightly. They wept into each other's shoulders.
My baby.
She hugged him. My baby they stole from me. Mama, I'm here now. She'd thought she was barren. She'd thought her motherhood was stolen forever. She'd thought he was lost to her. But God, fate, or justice had returned him. They lied. But they couldn't erase the blood. They couldn't kill the truth. She introduced him to the family that night. Her siblings wept. Her children embraced their older brother. The whole house was filled with laughter and tears. Amanda sat in her chair, watching them. Her heart finally felt whole. They took everything from me, but I built it back. And now, even what they stole has returned. She closed her eyes and thanked God. She was a mother. She was free. She was whole.